she got to portray.
And at least 2 government ministers have intervened.
I believe if we are actually honest with ourselves, our entertainers, our artists, have a far greater chance of positively reaching the minds of the younger cohort.
Kill the camera, stop roll. Come here and beat the fear. Watch me here. We never ever have fun because you know what the problem is. There's too much and too much uninvited guests. Shay, who the invited? I said who invited you? I said who invited you? Mariah Lee invited me. Everybody have a problem with her. That's the tension. The party, Rick.
You know, it really surprises me how people think that, you know, they can live different lives and behave however they want and basically then expect others to like treat and address them according to who they feel like being in that current moment. You know, it's like waking up and, you know, choosing a new identity every day and then demanding that the whole world just go along with it. Now, let's get into this major controversy surrounding Spice's Oh No school tour, which was basically a launch of the back of her latest track, which is Hell No.
I'm a friend, I'm a talk and ting. I'm a realize me now do certain thing. Feel like me out of place and think. Me now do them the freaky thing. Whatever. Me know fuck. Say me every walk. This me now do me now go take you back. Burst spit in the mouth. Oh yeah, that's what. No pill me now papa.
Now listen. Before we even start, if you're gonna watch this episode, if you're gonna watch this video that I'm doing right now, I need y'all to come with an open mind. You know. Come with some real reasoning skills so that we can actually have an actual conversation without anyone using, you know, their feelings, you know. This is not about whether I like Spice or not, because let me tell you, nobody, and I mean nobody, was a bigger fan of Ramping Shop than I was, right? Let me make that very, very clear, right? This is about something much bigger than us. And much bigger than Spice. It's about the future of our children and basically the direction of this world, because the future is our children. So Spice is undeniably, you know, talented. We all know that she's very diverse and she knows how to wear, you know, multiple hats, right? She's undeniable, a great person. She's self-managed, a self-managed artist. Who knows how to execute her brand very flawlessly. And I have no problem with her wanting to speak to students, especially young girls, because let's be real, she's built an empire. She has built an empire, right? And, you know, people will want to know how you did it and, you know, what are the ins and outs of that, all right? But here's the thing. When she goes to these school tours, who is she showing up as? Spice or Grace Hamilton? Because the same hats that makes her successful are also sending mixed messages, right? And just to highlight, if y'all know what this means, she has on her blue wig, right? So I want to know, you know, what is she really screaming on this school tour? Because as I said, the different type of hats are really sending mixed messages. You cannot be preaching one thing to kids and then doing something completely different when the mic is basically off, right? People's actions, overall, your action speaks louder than your words. And right now, the words and actions of Spice or Grace Hamilton, whatever she want to be called, is not lining up. You know, at one point, in Spice's career, she made a statement that when I'm wearing my black wig, I'm Grace Hamilton, and when I'm wearing my blue wig, I'm Spice. But let's be real, it doesn't work like that. Because if you really even look into it, at the school tours that she's been at so far, she's been wearing her blue wig. She's differentiating herself by saying when she's in her black wig, she's Grace Hamilton. When she's in her blue wig, she's Spice. We see Spice more often than we see so-called your what do you want to call it? A doppelganger, or your other side, your Sasha Fierce. We see Spice more than we see Grace Hamilton, right? So what I want to know is, who are you portraying? Because your blue wig is screaming Spice. And if you're going to speak to my child based on your lyrics, then that's not okay for me. You understand? And you're promoting this culture off the back of the song. Hell no. All right. But let's be real. It really doesn't work like that. So people aren't just, gonna flip a switch and stop seeing you as Spice when it's convenient for you. Your music, your lifestyle, it's all a part of who you are. You don't get to dictate to people or how people perceive you. But you definitely do have control of how you respond to it. Because if that's what you put out there, that's what you get. Now, just maybe I can, understand, just taking a shot at this, by the way, that you didn't grow up with a silver spoon in your mouth. You basically got into music, dancehall specifically, and you realized that, what you were doing was basically, what you were doing is selling. It was selling, and it worked, and you saw it as your ticket out of poverty and you ran with it. And I can probably say with some confidence that at the time, that was basically or probably the only way you saw fit to escape the struggle, because you actually chose that way, right? Or probably you did have other options, but you say, hey, this is what I want to do. All right. But here's the thing. The type of music you make is not just what sells. It's also a reflection of who you are and your mindset. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Now, I get it. I really do get it. Growth does happen. But deep down, you still believe that the same road, and I'm speaking to Spice here, you still believe that the same road that got you here to where you are now is the same one you have to keep walking to maintain everything that you have built. And to be honest, we attract who we are. We definitely do that. And you don't actually have to continue walking the road. You can move on from that life, because maybe that was the only option that you had at the time. And as I said, we definitely attract who we are, which is why you found yourself now on a reality show called Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, And in my opinion, a show like that just basically is mirroring your energy. That's just the reality. If that wasn't the space you aligned with, you wouldn't have been there. You wouldn't have been there. So let's keep it real. This is a show that follows the lives of artists, but y'all can't even go, 2 episodes without fighting. I mean, yeah, I know it's the brand, and the fighting, probably makes the rating skyrocket. But what's really sad about this is the fact that this even works, because it says a lot about today's generation. People are so addicted to chaos, always ready to fight. And if you step back and look at your entire brand, Spice, your music, your reality TV career, the narratives that follow you, it all paints a clear picture of who you really are and what you stand for. Now, let's take a look at this from your perspective, right? Maybe you're sitting inside your life looking out, wondering, what am I doing wrong? I just want to give back to my community and encourage young girls to say no. But what exactly are they saying no to? Let's break this down. Hell No is not a song about saying no to sex. It's not a song about saying no to sex. It's a song about, saying no to certain types of sex. But here's the thing. Teenagers shouldn't be having sex at all. If you take a look on the lyrics that are on your screen right now, I don't need to read them. You guys can read it for yourselves. You can see that this is not about not having sex. It's just specifying the type of sex that you're saying no to. And this is a song you're using to promote. If you were coming to talk to these kids about saying no and did not make this song, you probably would have gotten a pass in some sense. You probably would have gotten a pass. Why is it that you did not say, hey, my song that I did, jump over bad energy.
Side, skip to the left, not them on the right. Duck, side, tell Satan me say, not right. Whoop, jump over bad energy. Whoop, miss me with the negativity. Whoop, I saw me sight after the liberty. Whoop, whoop, me jump up in a prosperity.
That song, I heard that song because it was a vibe. Why didn't you use that to teach kids, hey, stop focusing on negativity, always be positive, step away from negative people? And why didn't you do a school tour on that? Instead of doing a song on sex, you basically winding up yourself in the video, basically saying that you have the WAP, which we all know what the WAP, W-A-P means and stands for.
I said certified free, 7 days a week, and gushy, make that pull-out game weak.
And you want to say this to kids that you have the WAP? You're saying that you're saying something different. You're preaching something different when you stand in front of them. But kids are hearing this. Music is something that's on repeat. If you all have ever taken a test to see where, you ever gone to sleep and just had a music on constant repeat? You get up the next morning and it's just over and over and over and over in your head. You can't stop singing it. You can't stop hearing it. You have to understand how the brain works. Kids shouldn't be having sex at all. Kids should not be having sex at all. And that should be the message, period. Right? And don't even get me started on the video of your own 14-year-old daughter singing along to it right beside you on social media.
Me and my friend, I'm a talk and ting. I'm a realize me now do certain thing. Feel like me out of place and think. Cause me now do them the freaky things.
What message is that sending? What message is that really sending? And I already know that some of y'all are thinking, no matter what we say, kids are going to do it anyway. So might as well educate them on how to do it safely. Really? But that's exactly the problem. This is exactly what the problem is. What happens when safe sex isn't enough? What's going to be the next campaign? What's going to be the next campaign? Where do we draw the line? Right? Where we draw the line? The real campaign should have always been teaching kids that sex is for adults. And if we had stuck to that message, teenage pregnancy wouldn't be on the rise on the way it is now. But instead, with sex being blasted all over social media, uncensored, people are becoming more desensitized. And you have to understand that as much as the music is uncensored, it's the same thing. Sex is uncensored. Everybody's on Instagram, on TikTok naked, having sex on TikTok. All of these things are happening. It's no longer just an act, it's a lifestyle. Sex, these type of music, hypersexuality, it's a lifestyle, it's entertainment, it's currency. And when you flood society with the kind of messaging, men and women lose control with these kind of messaging. And you know what then happens? Sexual aggression skyrockets. The lines of consent get blurred. So everybody just being sexually aggressive towards their partner or whoever they're having sex with. Nobody is listening to the word of the word consent anymore when you say yes or no. You know, men basically now are preying on underage girl. Do we see this happen in our society? It's not, it just does not stop popping up in the media. Self-control basically has disappeared. And let's be very, very clear. Songs like these and the hypersexual imagery that comes with them fuels this type of behavior. So we're not seeing where Spice, you're not seeing where the damage, your music, the damage that it's doing. You're not seeing the damage that your music is doing. It's hypersexuality. People think that they need to dress this way, act this way, sing this way, talk this way. And you don't see something wrong with it? The school tour sparked very major controversy, so much so that it ended up in Parliament with politicians debating whether or not it was appropriate. And listen, as much as I agree with them, these same politicians need to, take the speck out of them own eye before them take it out of somebody else's. Because let's be real, the same way they run this country is the biggest reason why we're even dealing with this mess in the first place. Because of their leadership is why we are in this mess. But you know what's funny? I haven't heard a single, not one word from Lisa Hannah. Not one word from Lisa Hannah. And let's not forget, she was quick to criticize. Lisa Hannah was quick to criticize other artists on how their music was affecting children. When she talked about Skeng's video and how it was contributing to how our kids were acting.
And it will take a village to get Jamaica to where we want to get to, all of us being mothers and fathers for our children in this country. Recently, a video surfaced on social media of 6 young schoolboys and 1 schoolgirl, most of them in their uniforms. Some of the boys were still in their khaki uniforms, and from the video clips I saw and I watched, 2 of the boys were filming the scene. 21, these things have been happening. But also the sexual issues have been happening, the assaults, the rapes. You read about them, I write about them. We continue to act with alarm at the violence and the hypersexual behavior of some of our children. So yeah, I wrote about the song Girl Cock Up Me F*** It So. I don't know if me snap a video by Skeng. And I wrote about some of the lyrics there, because me never feel no way, dog, because the next cat is there in the yard, and if she f*** around, I same thing, dog. In other words, this popular song by Skeng is saying, look, I can do this to you, and it's okay if I film it. And guess what? If you don't want to film it, our next girl there have to film it, because I saw her role. I saw the whole of the gang role. But guess what? This is not the only song that entertainers sing. You have some very positive lyrics out there. You have positive artists out there. You have some positive dancehall artists. The question is what really catch? And so when you have one-way communication getting to a child that is very hypersexual, let's use this as an example, and you don't have a parent interrupting that, or you don't have positive influences saying, okay, guess what? Yeah, that song is there, but you know what? You're not for really that, right? What happens is both genders are at work here, both the male and the female, and it affects the male and the female differently.
She talked about how those artists' music was affecting children. And when the controversial video surfaced of the high school boys molesting that high school girl, and when it comes to speaking about the songs that her friend makes, Spice, Lisa and Spice are friends. Let me make that clear. Lisa Hannah and Spice are friends. They have acknowledged this multiple times, right? When it comes to talking about her friend's music and its impact on our young girls, all we're hearing is, that's all we're hearing. You see, this is the problem We are too biased in Jamaica. Very biased. We don't hold everyone to the same standard. And let's be honest, most of us don't even have real friendships. We don't. Because if you're a friend, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I'd say, listen, my girl, I know this is how you make your money, but is there a way we can transition into something more positive? You know, we know you're talented. You could use your platform to endorse better message. And I already know what, some of y'all are thinking. Oh, but that kind of music now gonna sell like what she doing now. And you know why that's not going to happen? Because of y'all people who are listening to her music and feel like she can't sing positive messages, and you still support her as an artist. Because we have conditioned ourselves in this society to accept this type of hypersexuality as the norm. We've set the bar so low that when someone tries to change that, we resist it. Jamaica is very biased. Very biased. Now, let's be real. How do you expect a positive response when you're still putting out this kind of content in your music videos? Still stirring up drama and fights on international TV. Just imagine that for a second. Think about this. What if Thick Man, the Don who was recently killed by police, from Spanish Town, decided he wanted to go to school to encourage kids to say no to violence. Let's just go down this route for a second. Thick Man going to school to encourage kids to say no to violence, Now, mind you, Thick Man, started out his life as a Don and, living the Don life. I don't need to tell anybody how a Don lives and what they do to earn their money, Then some smart ones, some of them would, create legit businesses. So let's say Thick Man created legit businesses, but he never gave up being the Don of Spanish Town, How would people react? You would want this man to go into your school because he's building legit businesses. Because let's compare this. Spice says she's an entrepreneur. She listed all the different things. She is beyond her music. But what is the road that got Spice to where she is? Her music. Has she changed what she's doing in music? To some extent. But the image that she's created of being raw cha and singing these type of loose, let go songs is her brand. She has not let that go. So Thick Man, the gunman now, who is, the Don, decides say, him have legit businesses. He's an entrepreneur now, but he's not letting go of being the Don. Decide that he's going to go into school and talk to our kids. Y'all are going to sit there and be like, yes, man, make him go talk. Make him go talk. Because let's be honest. The kids already know who he is. So some might take a positive message from it, but what about the others gonna say, okay, you know what? I want to, become an entrepreneur, but right now I don't see, based on the fact that these kids have no guidance, they have no parents, and the community, which is us, are failing them and not helping them. They're gonna say, okay, I want to make it in life, and you know what? I saw Thick Man became a Don, so I'm gonna become a Don, and then if just in case I can survive this, I'm gonna go there and become an entrepreneur after. I'm assuming y'all will be okay with that, right? Okay, all right. But what about the kids? As I just said, what about the kids who don't have no support, no guidance, no parents, no family support, no adult they can talk to? What about those kids who would look at him and think, well, them just want to do that until, they just want to do that until, and maybe, just maybe, if they survive long enough, they create legit businesses and eventually leave the game, right? That is exactly the problem with this school tour, Spice. That is exactly the problem with this school tour. A young girl might see you, Spice, and think, I have no other way out, but if I shake up my body and sing some slack songs, I can make it too. Because let's be real, this is what dancehall is all about now. This is what it's all about. And tell me something. Is that what you want for your daughter, Spice? Is that what you want for your 14-year-old? Would you be okay with your daughter going on TV doing the same things you did, knowing that you gave her a better life to make better choices? So you've given her broader horizons, better opportunities to choose to be successful in life in another way instead of doing what you're doing. Would you be okay with her choice? Because let's not forget, you already censor what your daughter listens to and watches. Because you admitted that on social media, that you let her sing hell no so she knows when to say no. That means you are aware of the power of influence. So basically you're saying the reason why you're allowing her to sing hell no is because of what it's saying. So basically you're saying also that you don't allow her to listen to certain songs. You're making her listen to this as an exception because of what the message is saying. And you think that this message is important to your 14-year-old daughter. You definitely know what the power of influence can do. Just like Cardi B. She was on live singing her own song, and the minute her daughter walked in, she shut it off. Like, nope, not for you. Not for you. Why? Because these artists know the content is not for kids. But while they're protecting their children from it, what about the kids whose parents don't or can't or won't? What about the ones who have no one else guiding them, filtering what they consume on a day-to-day basis? That's where we as a community, that's where people like Spice, that's where people like Skeng, that's where people like our Beanie Man, our Vibes Cartel comes in. Because we have a responsibility to take care of these kids. Whether you birth them or not, or a part of their family or not, we are in charge of them. It takes a village to raise a child. And when someone as influential as Spice puts out this kind of music with no filter, no guidance, who's going to save these kids? Who is saving those kids from these type of lyrics, music? Music is supposed to uplift, not degrade. And we have seen that you can make positive music, Spice. So why not stay in that lane? But I get it. I get it. The fans love the hype, the controversy, the shock factor. But let's be real. True fans, really true fans, will support your transition. So Spice, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? At the end of the day, it boils down to this. I know you're the queen of controversy when it comes to rolling out a new project. I mean, we've seen it before. The skin bleaching stunt, the fake pregnancy announcement, and now this. I see the marketing strategy. We know you're the marketing genius. Controversy sells. And listen, I have no issue with you wanting to talk to kids. To be honest, I have no issue. But if you're going to do that, then your message should be like this. You know what, guys? I've loved dancehall music. I've been doing it for years. I love performing. But let me be real. Me winding up myself, being half naked and putting out certain kinds of, songs is something I would like to transition from, because this is not who I truly am or want to be, And for the people in the back who want to ask, who tell you say that she want to do? Listen, the minute she wants you to address her as Grace Hamilton instead of Spice, she's telling you that that's not who she wants to be 24/7. All right? So the message will continue with something like, I'm working really hard to change this part of my life. I use dancehall as an avenue to escape poverty. And I do enjoy dancehall. I like it, but I don't think the messages that I'm sending in some of my songs are really, for you guys. And I'm realizing that not every one of you have somebody who's supported to protect you from the music that I might post or send out into the world. So I want to take full control of that. And as I said, I use dancehall as an avenue to escape poverty. But honestly, I wouldn't want that for any of you, because if I'm being truthful, some of my songs encourage the wrong things, and I want to focus on pushing a very much more positive message always, Don't look down on yourselves, and don't let anyone make you feel like you have no potential. Every single one of you has the same opportunities. Some of you just don't know it yet. and I want to help you get there. That is the message that should be expected from Spice. That's what I think it should be. That is a message that acknowledges the reality of her influence, because she knows what she's doing. She knows the influence she's passing on to people and these kids. But if that's not the message that she'll be preaching, if the reality of your music and your action isn't being addressed, then I'm sorry, you cannot be speaking to our kids. You will definitely not be speaking to our kids. And this is why I understand why people push to get their kids in traditional high school. Because if you look at the lineup of the kids that were going, the schools that were being she was going to or scheduled to go to are the so-called and I quote unquote non-traditional high schools. And yes, most of these kids, they do need guidance, but from you, yes, you would be an ideal candidate because you were coming from the same, probably the same background that they're coming from. But you don't want them to understand that this is the only way that they can come out of it. These kids just don't have access to certain resources to let them know that there are so much more opportunities for them to see their way through other than becoming this. You understand? So if we are really being honest, this entire tour was designed to spark controversy and push your music video. And nobody can tell me otherwise. Nobody. Look at her constant interviews since she canceled the tour. The interviews, the social media posts, the meetings with the government officials. This was all a publicity stunt. If she went to a meeting with the government, she's recorded it. She's this, she's that. She's posting this. It was a publicity stunt. It was the controversy to push her music video. And the fact that you used our children to do it, that's what really disappoints me. That's what really makes me upset. That's what really is making me, be like, come on, use your controversy somewhere else, but not on our kids who are already struggling with everything that they need to be struggling with right now. Because Spice, I truly, truly believe that you are a strong and powerful woman. There's nothing you cannot accomplish if you put your mind to it. But right now, at this very moment, our children need us. They need a positive community surrounding them, guiding them and showing them the right way. And Spice, right now, that person is not you if you're not going to say the words. If you're not going to acknowledge that, this life that I'm living is not it. This type of music that I'm doing is not it. It's not it. I'm very disappointed again in Lisa Hanna because she has nothing to say. But she was so loud when kids were raping other kids and all of these things. She was so loud. But your friend who sings this type of music and hypersexualize these things, you have nothing to say, but you rather to call out other artists. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Lisa should have been the loudest on this. It's crazy. All right, let's wrap up for today's show, guys. But listen, again, just a reminder, we are officially on Spotify. So if you are not listening to us on YouTube or you want to listen to us on the go over to Spotify and subscribe. You can catch every episode on the go, anytime, anywhere. No excuses. And remember, we're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost there, guys. I see you guys subscribing. You guys remember to like the video as well. Subscribe so we can get this video out and build this community together. Don't just watch, be a part of the movement. All right. Catch you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.